an interstellar object whirling through our solar system is actually a nuclear-powered spacecraft sent by aliens to test how humans respond.
In the endless silence of space, there are no rules, no boundaries, only chaos and creation.
3I Atlas is not alone. A flock of comets have arrived into our inner solar system.
And just days ago, we witnessed proof of that truth. An event so violent, so utterly beyond comprehension, that it may redefine how we understand the cosmos itself. A colossal, unidentified object has slammed directly into 3I Atlas, the mysterious traveler from beyond our solar system. The collision wasn't just spectacular, it was apocalyptic. Now the once faint, icy wanderer burns like the heart of a reactor, pulsing with energy so intense that even our most advanced instruments are struggling to keep up. But here's the terrifying part. This wasn't just an explosion, it was an awakening. The data pouring in suggests that the impact didn't create the phenomenon. It triggered something already waiting inside. Something ancient. Something alive in its own strange way. A light in the void that should never have existed. In the cold, empty theater of space, our telescopes are the silent audience. They watch stars dance, planets move, comets drift. And for months, one particular performer held our attention. 3I Atlas, a mysterious interstellar visitor confirmed to have come from another star system. It was quiet, predictable, a faint, lonely speck following a smooth trajectory through the darkness, until the universe decided to change the script. Without warning, every observatory on Earth received a sudden, unexplainable alert. The light signature from 3I Atlas had surged, not by a few percent, but by a factor of over 1,000. In astronomy, events happen over eons. But this was instant. It was like someone flipped a cosmic switch millions of miles away. The flash was so intense it overloaded several telescope sensors, temporarily blinding them. But the real horror wasn't just in its brightness, it was in its composition. The light emitted wasn't from a comet reflecting sunlight or a distant supernova's flare. It contained energy signatures no one had ever seen before, elements that shouldn't exist, materials that defied all known physics. In the first few seconds alone, scientists estimated that the energy released was equivalent to 10,000 nuclear detonations, all going off at once. Something impossibly small was shining with the rage of a newborn star. The obvious answer was collision. Something had hit it. Something massive. But what came after was the true nightmare. Instead of fading, the object kept glowing, steady, powerful, and eerily constant. Its temperature leapt from near absolute zero to thousands of degrees Fahrenheit, hot enough to vaporize rock on contact. This wasn't a burst cooling down, it was a sustained reaction, a furnace burning in the emptiness of space. No natural collision could do this. Hitting a rock with another rock doesn't turn it into a miniature sun. Whatever 3I Atlas was, it had just revealed a secret locked inside its core. A secret we were never meant to uncover. As the light stabilized, astronomers began what can only be called a forensic investigation of the heavens. The region of space where the collision occurred was one of the most isolated areas in our solar system, far from asteroids, planets, or gravitational influences. A collision out there should have been impossible, like being struck by lightning on a cloudless day. Simulations began, thousands of them. Scientists modeled impacts with everything from car-sized rocks to mountain-sized asteroids, smashing into 3I Atlas at tens of thousands of miles per hour. Every test failed. No model could replicate the glow, the persistence, or the staggering power. It was becoming clear the reaction wasn't from the impactor. It was from 3I Atlas itself. Something inside it had been waiting. Some suggested the impactor might have been another interstellar traveler, a second cosmic wanderer colliding head-on with the first. The odds of that are so astronomical, they might as well be zero. Two objects from two different star systems meeting in the infinite dark. Impossible. Yet, somehow, it happened. Others whispered something even stranger. What if the object that hit Atlas came from Atlas itself? Maybe it was binary, a two-part system that broke apart, one fragment spiraling back into the other. That would explain where the impactor came from, but it couldn't explain the energy that followed. Whatever struck 3I Atlas didn't just hit, it ignited it. It delivered a payload of pure, unfiltered energy, awakening something that had been dormant for eons. And that's when the most unsettling theory emerged. This might not be a natural object at all. To understand what happened, we first have to understand what 3I Atlas is. Its name marks it as the third confirmed interstellar object ever observed entering our solar system. The first was the enigmatic Oumuamua, a cigar-shaped mystery that baffled scientists in 2017. The second was Borisov, a comet-like traveler that behaved more predictably. But 3I Atlas? It was nothing like either of them. It entered the solar system on a clean, hyperbolic path, proof it wasn't bound by the sun's gravity. Tracing its route backward, astronomers discovered it had likely been traveling for millions of years, possibly from the direction of the constellation Aquila, the Eagle. But stars move, and time erases trails. Its home system could now be anywhere, or nowhere at all. It was a true orphan of the stars. Before the collision, it was dim, inert, and cold. A dead world fragment, several miles across, showing no signs of gas or dust like a comet. A lifeless rock, or so we thought. That's why the impact's aftermath shook the scientific world. A dormant, frozen body had transformed into a radiant inferno. The only explanation? Its composition was far from ordinary. Spectral readings revealed traces of rare heavy metals, materials usually born in neutron star collisions, events that forge the heaviest elements in existence. To find such density and purity in a single body was impossible by every known standard. It was as if this object had been constructed, a compact vessel forged from the heart of a dying star. It was never just a rock. It was a reactor, built by forces we can't yet comprehend. The glow, now visible even from amateur telescopes, has lasted far longer than any collision should. Weeks later, it still burns, barely dimming. And this persistence defies every model we have. If a normal impact releases kinetic energy, that heat should vanish into the void. But this light keeps feeding itself. It's not a fire, it's a reaction. And for every reaction, there must be a fuel source. One theory, a runaway fission event, a natural nuclear reaction ignited by the impact. If 3I Atlas contained vast amounts of unstable radioactive material, the shock could have forced those elements together, triggering a chain reaction, a self-sustaining atomic fire drifting through space. But others argue that even this doesn't explain the sustained rhythmic pulsing of its light. The glow is too controlled, too measured, like a heartbeat. Which brings us to a theory that feels more like science fiction than science: matter-antimatter annihilation. If this object somehow contained antimatter sealed within a stable core, the collision could have breached that containment. Matter and antimatter meeting would release energy thousands of times greater than nuclear fusion. That would perfectly explain the ongoing power output. But here's the problem. No natural process can create or store antimatter like this. It would require intelligent design. So now the debate has shifted from what happened to who or what made it. For scientists, this has become a paradox of faith and physics. 3i Atlas behaves less like a random celestial object and more like a machine. Its light pulses with mathematical precision. Its path has subtly adjusted, as if under control. Its energy readings come in cycles, structured, repeating, deliberate. Some believe we are witnessing a form of technology so ancient and advanced that we can't yet recognize it for what it is. Others say it's simply the universe reminding us how little we truly know. Whatever the truth, the message is clear. 3i Atlas is no longer just an interstellar object. It is now a beacon, a living anomaly broadcasting power and information across the solar system. It glows like a wound in the night, bleeding light without sound or heat, whispering in a language older than stars. And though we can't translate it, we can feel its meaning deep in our bones. A warning, or perhaps an invitation. Because if something like this can exist, if a rock from another galaxy can ignite into a reactor of pure energy, then what else is out there, drifting in the dark, waiting for its own awakening? Every law of physics we thought we understood suddenly feels fragile, temporary. And in that uncertainty, one truth burns brighter than ever. The universe is far more alive, intelligent, and terrifying than we could ever imagine. So what do you think? Is 3i Atlas a cosmic accident or an alien message written in light? Tell us your theory in the comments below. And don't forget to subscribe, because the next discovery might change everything we think we know about reality itself.